going through the grocery store
So
as
jealous.
quick as I can to pick up the items we need for a meal. I'm so jealous. And then society, like all the stress we're under, what's stopping us from like, we're holding this like kind of squishy avocado. Like what's stopping us from just going, and just taking it out on that, just crushing that avocado because we could. Just saying that I'm so pressed mentally that I'm ready to just like, if it, like I just want to cry, like, and I know I could.
Erik, if you need to crush the avocados in the grocery store, I highly recommend therapy.
I thought that this episode was going to be all about Valentine's Day and like love stuff.
Drugs and avocados. That's what we're talking about.
Oh,
Ew, I can't. Why is
gross.
this so
And
not?
the worst, oh my God, do you want to clean up for a second before we continue?
Good morning again, guys. I'm going to do another reaction that was requested. So apparently, Colleen and Erik had a relaxed podcast episode that was saying our Euphoria episode, I think is the title. Yes, our episode of Euphoria. So I don't know if they're going to be watching Euphoria or how this all goes. I have not watched the show itself. I don't know a ton about it. I know Zendaya's in it. I know she's done apparently some incredible acting, and it's pretty gutsy and edgy, I think, and that's pretty much all I know. So we'll see if it's related or not. But yeah, let's get started.
Colleen and Erik have a podcast. The world is scary and we're locked in our home. But now we have big microphones. So you can relax.
That's a hat.
The name of our podcast.
Hello, welcome to Relax the Podcast.
Hey.
I'm Colleen Ballinger,
I think we're starting it. You went right for it.
one of your hosts, and Erik Stocklin is here. He's the other host of this beautiful podcast. And this is a very fun episode
Why is it being called
it's all about
Karen?
love.
Oh yeah, it's a love episode.
This is the week of love. Or if you're a Ballinger, it's the week of Trent's birthday. My brother was born on Valentine's Day, and so
Oh, my.
I knew that.
it was always like Valentine's Day, but it is mostly Trent's birthday.
Really?
Yeah, it was like very important that we like made him feel
Oh,
obviously
what a
special.
terrible day to have your birthday
My
on.
mom planned it. She thought it'd be cute to have like a Valentine's Day baby. Yeah,
No.
she thought. She
Well,
said we were all scheduled C-sections, and so she was like, "How cute to have a little baby on Valentine's Day."
I mean, you know what? More power to you. If you think it's cute, by all means, you do that. I have always said if I ever had a baby, if I had a baby on Christmas Day or right around Christmas, I would be so mad. Not just because of Christmas, but like I want to enjoy these holidays. I don't want to be going through extremely painful labor on a holiday. Thank you very much. But that is just my opinion.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know if she knew he was a boy or not before he was born.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if she knew. I don't know. I
she
feel like
thought
back
it
then they
was-
didn't know. Anyway,
I feel
Overall,
bad now that I
maybe.
said what a horrible day to have your birthday on. Well, I mean,
I think it's cute.
yeah,
It's cute. And well, I don't know. Trent, I think is fine with it. I don't know. Maybe I should
Yeah.
ask him if he's fine with it.
I'm sure he's fine.
Anyway, happy Valentine's Day week. It already happened by the time you guys are listening to this episode.
It is the love episode, but also this is coming out, I guess, 2 days after Valentine's Day, but we were recording it a week before,
Not a week, but a couple of days before.
5 days before.
Their headgear is very interesting, but I know, and I don't even know if they're thinking this hard, but like when I was watching videos on how to do YouTube thumbnails, which I still have no idea how to do a good thumbnail, color theory is something that I saw popping up a lot, and I'm kind of curious if they chose this colorful headgear to kind of attract people's eyes to their thumbnail. Don't know.
No, it's just a couple. Anyway, who cares?
What's a week? If it's 5 days, would you say a week? Let's start this again.
Oh, please no. All right, here we go. I want to talk about who needs to relax.
I want to as well.
Can I start?
Please. I don't think I could stop you if I wanted to.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ooh.
There she
who
goes.
needs to relax this
Ouch.
week?
Let me guess.
Erik Stocklin
I knew it!
and his petty ass.
I knew you were going to say
Whoa.
Listen.
I was like, it's either going to be
listen.
babies, something.
Okay, I no longer wonder why this was a request for me to react to. We are starting off strong.
Or me.
No, baby. No, it's you. You
What have
need
I
to
done
relax-
now?
You need to
I drank a
relax for many reasons.
kombucha today that said chill on it.
And what do we say about kombuchas?
Kombuchas for my kombuchas.
You're drinking a kombucha for your kombucha?
And it said chill on it as if it would have some sort of
It does
lavender-esque effect on me.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I'm a chill guy, as we've established.
Oh, chill. I thought if it's a drink and it's called chill, you would think like cold, like chilled. Anyway, Erik needs to relax because if you guys have been listening to this podcast every week, you might remember the episode where we spoke about bathrooms and how I like to have bathroom mats, like mats on the ground, and Erik thinks it's absolutely vile.
But okay, but you're saying it out of context.
And-
We're talking about guest bathrooms that are half baths that have no actual baths in them, so have no need thus for bath mats.
He thinks they should
cool.
have absolutely nothing in the bathroom on the ground, just plain ground.
But if, it's,
We're
if
talking
this is
dry,
a half
dry
bath,
ground.
we're talking half bath, there's no bath, so you're not wet
No,
by
it just
any
makes
means.
it look more luxury, makes it look nice. I agree with you. The ones around the toilet are gross. Okay, fine. I agree with you that. But anyway, we're not going to get into this. This is not.
But I said on this podcast, all right, this is what you want.
So yes,
You
this is
got it
my
coming.
relax.
Okay.
This is my relax.
You're right.
I get to talk about this. So
Dang.
Erik and I disagree on this
She's
strongly.
like, okay, Erik, you stop talking. This is mine. Oof.
And you guys in the comments were kind of back and forth. A lot of people agreed with me, but a lot of people agreed with you. When I said they all agreed with me the next episode, a lot of people were like, no, I agree with Erik. So
I think they mostly agreed with you.
well, okay, we're not getting into that. Here's why Erik needs to relax. He said, all right, you like bath mats? I'll get you a bath mat in our guest bathroom for around the toilet, you
Say it
freak.
to your face.
And I said, okay. I was like, you can put in whatever you want, thinking like, oh, he's compromising. So he's going to be willing to let me have bath mats in the bathroom as long as like he picks them out. I was fine with this because Erik has a really good sense of design.
I don't know why, but I do not think this is going to end well. It's gonna be terrible. Whatever it is, it's gonna be something bad.
Like he's really good at decor and homes and like designing things. He always like surprises me with his ideas. You're really good at that.
Thank you.
And so I was thinking it's gonna make it look like funky
Funny
and
because
fun.
you're accepting of none of them, it seems.
What are you talking about? Look at this room. This is all you. Anyway, you also did your like the bathroom.
I feel like every episode now, I mean, there are some people that support them that feel like I'm just bullying them, and I don't want to do that. It's just, they're very fascinating to react to, so I want to do it fairly and wisely and whatnot. That being, and I don't want to say but, because I mean that. However, excuse me, is that better than but? I feel like every single episode we watch, there is a new thing that they have a long-standing disagreement over. It's like we learn more and more life disagreements the further we go, and it's just sad, really. But anyway, bath mats is the current one.
We call your bathroom here.
Decorating.
You need a bathroom to go poo in. That's not our conjoined one, I guess. So
I don't know that
it looks cool. There's like
I don't
plants
know
on
that
the
I would take
walls.
possession over it. I don't know that it's mine.
Well, it's cool how you did it. There's like plants on the wall and funky like art. It looks cool in there. So I'm thinking you're gonna do something cool. And then today he goes, I have a Valentine's Day present for you. Makes me put on a robe, and the robe is very
of
nice.
many
The robe
that
is
you've received.
very nice. Okay, the robe is really soft. I actually really
yeah, I
appreciate
said
the
you
robe.
need this robe before you
Really
go into your
nice.
luxurious bathroom.
And in the middle of the night when I'm feeding the babies, like I always put on the robe you got me for my birthday or Christmas or one of the two, I don't remember. And I love that robe.
Yeah.
And so he got me another one, which I thought was very sweet. And he's like, all right, it's for this bathroom. You need to go look at it. And I'm like thinking it's going to be all funky and cute and cool. This little punk decorated the bathroom like an old granny, like hot pink, floral, tacky ridiculousness with a rug, a bath mat that says get naked. And then like a weird rose funky bath mat. If you're watching the YouTube video
That's
of this podcast,
hilarious.
we'll have
You're gonna
Chris
show an
put a
image of-
photo of what you have done to our guest bathroom. There's pink toilet paper in the bathroom right
I
now.
mean, to
There is
be fair, he was very color coordinated. Like those pinks match, everything matches up. So I mean, as awful as it is, he did an excellent job doing awful decor. I want to give him that.
Pink toilet paper in the bathroom, yes.
There is
That's crazy.
the strangest smelling rose candle.
Oh, there's
There is-
actual flowers in the candle.
It is-
I'm supporting a small business by
There
buying that,
is
by the
a
way.
skirt on the toilet seat, like a lace skirt.
Ew.
Yeah, I would describe it more as toilet lingerie than I would
So
a comfy toilet
Erik
seat.
is petty, and
Did you even sit on it? Did you even sit on that toilet seat?
Of course not.
I
Here's the
wouldn't.
thing: we are tired. We have twins and a toddler, and no help other than like my parents every once in a while. And we're so grateful for them. But even with them here, it feels like we don't have any time to ourselves. Like no time to ourselves at all. The only time Erik and I.
So I'm curious, since this was before everything exploded in her life, I wonder why they didn't have any kind of help. I would have thought, I mean, I guess she probably wouldn't have been foolish enough to get like fans to come over and babysit, but I would have thought that she would have had a larger larger social network to say, hey, I want to go out on date night. Can you come help me with the kids? It's interesting. I know not everyone does that. And some people don't want to annoy people by asking, and twins are a lot. So maybe she just felt like twins with Flynn would be too much to ask anyone to do. I don't know, but it does honestly surprise me a bit.
Are alone is when we do this podcast sometimes, and the rest of the time, I mean, it's nonstop.
It's funny, I have a segment I want to do called the Lone Time later in the episode.
I just want to make a point that like we do not ever have time to do anything for ourselves.
Other than
and
going to
you
that
find
bathroom.
time today to do something, and that is what you chose to do with your time because you were that
I
petty.
did it with Flynn.
True, and Flynn was so excited.
Yeah, and I know he was so excited to show it to you.
It was very
to do
cute.
that project with me. He was so excited to show it to you.
As he should be.
But no, I started with
That is kind of cute to involve your kid on a harmless practical joke against their parent. I think that creates a cute dynamic. So
it's like a very pink floral, like rose shaped U-shaped toilet mat.
Mhm, yes.
And then if you look for pink floral bath decor, apparently the options are endless. Like it's all there.
Yeah, it's so
Like we're
tacky.
talking soap dispenser. We're talking tissue box
cover.
cover.
Yeah, what is this called?
We're talking, like I said, toilet lingerie for both the seat and the tank.
Yeah.
Hand towel, that's a gimme. You want a pink
Yeah.
floral hand towel? They got those. Candles, sure.
So our guest bathroom now.
Are you not
is,
happy about this?
Well, I just think my family's coming over for the Super Bowl, and that's the
Yeah.
guest bathroom.
They don't
want
wanna be comfortable and, like-
naked and like a skirt, and it's like material on the actual toilet seat.
Yeah, that's a bit strange.
That's so.
I mean, I
idea was that?
didn't sew it in there. I just found that it was purchasable.
Yeah. So thank you
So
for
why
my
not?
robe.
Happy Valentine's Day, love.
That's hilarious.
Also, I think Erik still thinks it's Valentine's with an M.
I just say it because that's what Flynn says. So I say Valentine's.
You said, I think, before Flynn.
I do have an adult friend that says Valentine's, and I did not correct her because I love her and it's not that big a deal, but that grates me like nothing else. If you want to say Valentine's time, which still doesn't make any sense, okay, but it is not Valentine's. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Valentine's. I think we had a conversation
Times.
about this a long time ago.
I know it's Times.
I don't
Like
think
Saint
you used to.
Valentine. I know, I'm aware of that. Yeah.
I think I taught you that. I think you thought it was Times with an M.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't think that.
Oh.
And then our son said it in a cute way.
Yeah, he's
that's
cute.
the way.
I would believe Erik
Anyway.
would be correct. He's very
Happy Valentine's
smart.
Day. My gift is grandma decor in the bathroom. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, and a very, very nice robe that I tried to find modeled after your childhood blanket, and new sneakers and a jean jacket that I've still yet to see wear.
Do I leave this house?
And what have I got to show for it? Huh?
We're going on vacation.
Oh.
We're going on vacation for Valentine's Day. I'm taking you on a hot date.
That's what sounds like
We're gonna
vacation to
dress
me.
up. Hmm.
Going to a stranger's house
What are we
with
gonna do?
two
Go to a
newborn
hotel?
babies.
What do we do with them?
Okay, so I'm just going to pause real quick. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but I get the sense that Erik, like, wrapped up a complete, like, faux gag gift with things that he actually really thought about and really wanted to be sweet and special to her. Like, maybe that's kind of their dynamic of, like, I'm not just going to be like, I love you so much. Here's a beautiful Valentine's gift. It's like, yeah, I put up with you. Here's a gag gift. But, like, deep down inside, I actually got this thing for you that I really hope you like and I really hope you appreciate. That would make sense because then with his little side comments of, like, I also got you a robe that I tried to model after your childhood blanket and I got you these things which you never wear. Like, I get the sense that he actually really did try to have some thoughtful gifts that he gave her that she just doesn't appreciate in the way that he was hoping, which if that's the case, that's really sad.
We
Going
gotta
to a
keep 'em.
strange environment, but with the same babies.
Oh, lovey-dove.
Vacation, man.
So you are not appreciative
When's that
of your
honeymoon
gift?
coming? When's that honeymoon
I know,
coming?
right? We're so frustrated. We still haven't had the honeymoon. Such a total frustrating thing in our lives.
I don't remember if I mentioned this on this channel or not, but I also never got a formal honeymoon. My husband and I never got a formal honeymoon. We totally planned one out. It was paid for and everything, and then we got COVID. And it was like a week-long honeymoon, a few hours away, and we got COVID, like, starting the night of the wedding is when I started coming down with it, ironically enough. But we've been sick for, like, a month before that and tested negative, so we had no idea it was actually COVID. And we'd, like, wake up each morning and be like, are we well enough to go to travel to our honeymoon destination? It's like, do you have a fever? I have a fever. Okay, we won't travel. Then wait out that day, wake up the next day. Are we well enough? And then it's like, I can't taste today. Can you taste today? And it just kept getting worse. So we never got a honeymoon. But honestly, we are perfectly fine, perfectly happy.
Anyway, let's say hi to our first sponsor
Wanna do that before my relax?
Before you relax.
Before my relax, but I'm just going to say, just to tease it.
I'm scared.
Talking Euphoria. This is your new show.
Yes, I love it.
But anyways,
Very
thank
excited.
you.
Oh boy.
Let's say thanks to our first sponsor.
She loves it. I don't know what to think.
Stamps.com. Oh man, how we love Stamps.com in this house, you guys.
don't.
Try it. Let me know what you guys think. I am obsessed. Okay, loves, who do you think needs to relax this week?
Well, I wanted to talk about.
Euphoria. You
Yeah,
said.
I wanted
Wait,
to
you
talk.
think they need to relax?
I don't know. I'm not saying they need to relax.
I love it.
But we'll get there. It's more of a larger conversation. I think when I first saw the show when it came out 2 years ago, I thought it was great. It's very well acted and shot and directed
Oh, yeah.
and written. Like I think
It's
it's like
great.
like good for you, HBO. Like that appointment television. Like you can't stream it. You got to wait every week, and it's worth it. It's a good show. It's
It's really good.
very well produced. But to me, it coincided with me becoming a father. And I grew up in a small towns in New Jersey and Connecticut, and to kind of see these California kids.
This is a completely unrelated comment, but why is it spelled Connecticut if it's pronounced Connecticut? If someone could answer that for me, I would be eternally grateful.
Growing up and all their escapades.
This is what's so funny to me about you.
Get a grip. Grow up. Let me finish my sentence.
Okay.
That to me becoming a father and
That
realizing
problem
that
has never stopped from day one. She interrupts and he's like, ugh. But actually he confronts her here. I wasn't sure if he did that all along. So maybe he's done a little better job of that than I thought.
I at one point will have teenage children of my own. Watching it was like instead of just enjoying it, I was kind of like scared that like, oh, this is what my kids are gonna be and go through. And that was the moment I realized, oh, I'm old.
Love,
I'm an old person.
it's so funny because you said this to me multiple times. Like you watch Euphoria and you think that's what all kids, you think that's what high school is.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in California
Yeah.
and
And you did, and
That
you
did
didn't
not
have that
happen
experience.
to me, and that didn't happen to anyone I know.
I know, but then the more I thought about it, watching the show, thinking about my like adolescent high school experience, like being like, I can't believe these kids are depicted in the show, and this is what they do. Like that's so different. Blah blah. Like I'm now realizing it's kind of pretty accurate.
So I'm just going to pause. I don't know exactly where they're going with this, but I have kind of gotten the sense. I feel like a lot of times shows that are supposed to depict real life tend to take the most, I don't know what the right word is. I don't want to say lascivious. I don't even use that word ever, but just like the most tantalizing parts of life that people are like, oh, can you believe this is happening, or that's going on, or this is on trend. I feel like TV shows like to take whatever the most common things are at that time and then like explode it all across the board. So it's like, it's not that they completely make up realities, the things that they touch on. I think they want to be able to sort of connect with the people of that generation and stage of life and whatnot. But it's not going to be as accurate entirely as what really goes on, if that makes sense.
What? You did?
It's like super
drug
accurate.
addicts? You guys were all drug addicts?
Not me.
And like
Are they all
having sex every 5
They're
seconds?
not all drug addicts in the show.
The
drug
lead is a
addicts.
drug addict, and they all have sex every 5 seconds. That was your high school experience?
Well, like different. Like instead of it being in a Southern
I
California.
don't know if there's like any kind of joke about what HBO actually stands for, but I feel like HBO is known for having a lot of unclothed people. So, yeah.
California suburb, like it being like in the kind of woods.
But you're telling me that's accurate? That
I'm
everyone
saying
has sex all the time?
I'm saying I think it's pretty accurate.
What?
I mean, I don't know. Like I'm
You had sex all the time when you were a drug addict?
all the time.
Oh my God. No, I don't think this. Okay.
But so, and I'm only bringing this up tonight for my relax because this is a show that has come back recently and that you have just started watching.
Yes.
That you exclusively watch
When I'm
while
pumping.
you're pumping.
Mm-hmm.
So how far have you made it through in your pump
I'm on
sessions?
episode 6.
Wow, that's
So
a lot of pumping.
I started watching it while I was in the hospital with Wesley. He's fine, by the way. Everything went
Sprinkle
well.
that in. He had his surgery and it's okay.
It went well. But we had to stay in the hospital overnight. And so it was a very stressful time. And I wanted something to keep my mind. I was all alone. I wasn't with Erik. And Erik is like my rock. And we go through these hard things. We go through them together. And it was really hard for me to not be with him there. And so I was trying to.
Is he? See, I mean, I've said, and I will say it again, there is a chance that their dynamic seems to be really unhappy, but like underneath it, they really deeply love and care about each other and like couldn't imagine life without each other. But they don't really present that very believably. So to hear her call him her rock is just kind of like, really? Okay.
think of something to take my mind off of it when every 5 minutes Wes would sleep and then wake up and sleep and wake up. So those 5 minutes while he'd be asleep, like, I need to do something because I was so anxious. So like, oh, you know what? Everyone's talking about how good season 2 of Euphoria is. I have HBO on my phone. Like, I'll just try to watch it. So I watched the first episode in 5-minute increments over a 24-hour period. It took me that long to watch one episode, 24 hours. And I loved it. I thought the pilot was so good. Mm-hmm. And so now that I'm not at the hospital, I'm home, and I have these 20-minute pumping sessions every 3 hours.
5 minutes, sure.
Mm-hmm. So every 3 hours, I pump for 20 minutes. I'm like, I'm gonna watch Euphoria. So I've been watching Euphoria. And I really like it. I think it's really good. There's a lot of sex scenes, and I have to say, sex scenes make me viciously uncomfortable. Like, I've never ever seen a sex scene and been like just comfortable watching it. I look away. I'm not kidding.
Are you sitting there with your parents, or are you just
if I'm alone?
Even if you're alone?
Oh yeah.
I can't imagine watching a scene like that. I can't remember if I've ever watched a scene like that with parents around. But anything that even hints at that, I agree. I want to just like run.
I hate them. They make me so uncomfortable. And I think it's because I grew up in the church where that's like looked down on. Like, sex was just like taught as like it was a big no-no, it was a huge sin. So I think it was so ingrained in me that now when I see it, it just like freaks me out in TV shows and movies.
Okay, I did not expect to comment on this. From what I've heard, a lot of churches do make people believe that sex itself, period, is dirty and wrong. And that, if that is the case, that's completely inaccurate. The Christian, like conservative Christian view of sex needs to be that it's a wonderful, beautiful thing, but inside marriage specifically. So it's wrong outside of marriage. But even still, I do feel like, I think churches are changing now, but I think historically, and probably like when Colleen was young and maybe even when I was young, I think a lot of times churches really focused on how wrong it is and didn't focus on trying to have sympathy for what leads people into being okay with having sex before getting married and the thought processes and the trauma. Churches are terrible with understanding trauma and abuse and all of that. Oh my word. So I think churches are becoming more empathetic, if you will. I'm not saying churches should change their stance on it, but I think they're hopefully, ideally, slowly learning how to handle the whole concept better without being like bad, 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 wrong, wrong, wrong. Because I know I hope this isn't true for me. But I know a lot of people who grow up in church circles would say that they have a lot of sexual trauma even just from being taught don't, that even if they decided not to until they got married, once they did get married, all of a sudden it's like, well, it's this thing that my brain has just told me don't, and now I'm expected to just be totally okay with it, and like my brain can't even process that dichotomy. So I don't think that I fell into that category, but a lot of people do. So anyway, that's just a tangent. All that to say, the TLDR version is, I don't think that churches should stop promoting that sex is meant for marriage, but I do think that it's important churches learn to handle it with empathy and care and understanding of what's going on in the culture.
So like the amount of sex really makes me uncomfortable. And so I'm like, someone out there has to relate to this. Like someone listening has to relate to what I'm saying here. It makes me so uncomfortable. I hate
it's
it.
pretend, right? They're just acting.
Yes, and then that makes me uncomfortable. So if I think of it, if I get invested in the story and I'm like, oh, they're having sex, ew, I'm so uncomfortable. But if I think, oh, these are actors pretending, then I still get uncomfortable because I'm like, oh, that things I had to go through that day, I could never do that. Me personally, could never be naked on a set and like fake sex. Like I couldn't do it. It'd make me so uncomfortable. I can't believe these people are doing it. How are they confident enough to feel like you've done that?
Yeah, but I can still watch it and appreciate the narrative. But as an actor, it's still like shadowed with like I'm thinking like how did the performers on this day?
Is it so?
I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like the way she kind of led up to that made her saying to Erik, you did that. That sounds kind of condescending to me. It feels like to Erik, it would feel condescending for her to say it that way because she's just like, I can't even imagine it. That just seems so terrible. You did that. Rather than like, I don't know. I feel like there'd be a way to phrase that is a little bit less like, you're a weirdo because you were cool with that. But maybe I'm reading too far into it.
So awkward?
Commit to do something like that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I mean.
I couldn't do it, I don't think.
Yeah.
I would never be able to do it. I think I can't even watch it. I can't imagine like participating in.
So you're not watching it?
Well, I watched the show, but I guess I'm only watching like 50% of the show because 50% of it is definitely like naked scenes.
Yikes.
But since it is so like prevalent in pop culture and a good show, and you're now watching it now, and it makes you reflect as now like you're out of that age type of person, me and you, new parents. It was interesting to me to like reflect on like what my experience was at that time in my life.
And you think it was accurate?
And then I was thinking about like what your time was like, and I wonder, and I had questions. Colleen Ballinger.
Mm-hmm.
This is you. You're on your BMX hand-me-down bike.
Mm-hmm. What?
You're in a wet alley. Like it's an alley.
I don't like the term wet alley.
It's an alley behind buildings and houses. It's not raining, but it's wet for some reason.
Okay.
Maybe because it looks better that way on camera.
Mm-hmm.
It's your episode of Euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
You're Rue.
Okay. So I'm a drug addict.
I mean, I'm sure that character is more
like,
layered
great.
than that. But, there's a lot going on there behind the story. But what is your episode of Euphoria?
It's
Like,
a musical,
we're focusing on your character.
Yes.
Of course,
My
it's
episode would just be a
And,
musical or like a choir episode. It'd be like Glee. It would just be an episode of Glee.
That's Glee. Then that's not. You can't put Glee on HBO.
My high school experience is nothing like Euphoria.
It's not like, line crossing enough for HBO. I feel like HBO, I would imagine most anything that is on their network needs to be like really pushing any and all boundaries humanly possible before they're like, okay, yeah, we'll have that show on our network.
In the slightest. I was a theater kid. I was a choir kid. And that I was very boring. I never had sex like they do all the time. I was a virgin all through high school. And I never even had a kiss. Nothing. Well, I had stage kisses. And
what was that nose wipe? Was that like a defense mechanism?
I was going to say, wipe my nose every 3 seconds. Have you met me?
I don't know.
That is so interesting because I said that in an earlier video when people, for me, it even happens when I get uncomfortable sometimes. My nose gets tickly. He knew. He picked up on that. That is so funny. Go, Erik.
And I drank a couple of times, underage drinking. I apologize, guys. Don't do that. Don't be an underage drinker. But I only did that 2 or 3 times, I think.
You're canceled.
I know, right? But that's it. So my episode will be very boring. But I will tell you, the first time I drank, it was a screwdriver, and then I had a beer, and that was it. And I just remember I got in trouble for that. My mom found out about it, and she did one of those things where she picked me up from school, and she was like, do you want to tell me something? And I was like, no, because I didn't know what she was talking about.
Who snitched?
I don't know. She still to this day is like, I don't remember. But
Yeah, right.
No,
you wrote it in a diary.
no, I
and
don't
she
think
read
I
it.
would have written that in a diary. I don't think I would have, because I knew people would be reading my diary. I had a little sister who was in.
Colleen's diaries. That would be a fascinating deep dive. Like her diaries from when she was like preteen to teen. That it would just be so interesting to see what her thoughts were early on compared to once she started reaching success. Yeah, because I think she had some videos where she supposedly read some diary entries from when she was younger. I mean, maybe not. I don't necessarily trust anything she does at this point, but it would just be so interesting to see what kind of similarities were going on versus what's changed. Has anything changed? Yeah, very interesting.
In my same room. But yeah, I don't know. It was back in the day where like you had one phone in the house, and if anyone else picked up another phone, you can hear what's going on. Do you know what I mean?
Could you tell when another person picked up the phone?
Sometimes you could hear like the click. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you didn't know.
Yeah, sometimes you didn't know. So
It was like you were always. It was like you were always bugged.
Yeah. So I don't know, but she found out, I don't know what she knew about it. I don't know if she knew I just went to a party, if she knew I drank or what, but I literally just had a couple sips of a screwdriver and then I had a beer. And then I think I just went home. Like, and I didn't get drunk or even tipsy. Like, I think I just went home and it was lame. It was just theater kids. But I do remember there was one girl at the party who.
What name her?
No way. I don't talk to her anymore. I haven't talked to her since high school, but I remember she spent the night there at this party at this friend's house. Like, a bunch of people spent the night there.
You didn't?
No.
But you're aware of that she spent the night?
Yes, because the next
day. So you remember this party, and you're like, you know who spent the night and who did?
Yes, because the next day at school, she came up to me and she said, "Colleen, I think I'm pregnant." And I was like, "What?"
What is the story?
She was like, "I think I'm pregnant." And I was like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And she said, "Well, I was cuddling with this guy. It was the guy who was the jock / star of the theater. You know, he was like that guy that every high school has, where it's like he's the lead of the football team, the star of the football team, and the lead in every musical." She said she was cuddling him. And I was like, okay. And so what happened? And she was like, well, we were cuddling and he was spooning me. And then I felt like, yeah, I'm going to say this. She said she felt something. And I was like, okay, so what happened? And she was like, well, that's it. And I was like, wait, what? You think, what? I was so confused. This girl thought that this guy was spooning her. They were both fully clothed. And she thinks, they didn't hook up. They didn't kiss or anything. But she thinks just because he was spooning her, somehow, the way you get pregnant, hopefully a lot of people listening know how this works. She thought that traveled through his underwear, through his jeans, through her jeans.
How do you know he was wearing jeans? I sense a lot of jealousy in this story.
No, not at all. Through her jeans, her underwear, and into her parts, and got pregnant. She genuinely believed she was freaking out.
I love that Colleen had to list every single, like, that is so on brand with her sense of humor. It's just like mentioning underwear, mentioning parts. Like, we all know. You could have just said she thought that traveled through clothing and everything, and then she was pregnant. Like, you could easily say it that way, but it's like Colleen's mind, for whatever reason, has to latch on to the 12-year-old boy humor parts. So awkward in this story. You know what I mean? Also, this story didn't need to be told. I'm sure if that person knew you were telling this story, which for all I know, they did find out, they'd probably be really embarrassed, because that's just a really, it's someone who must have grown up pretty sheltered. Like, I was like 7, I think, when I found out about it, because someone told us, I'm a twin, so someone told us the very wrong way of how it works. So my parents were like, well, we're about to tell you the way it really does work. So I was very young. Clearly this girl maybe didn't know those details. And I think she'd probably, as an adult, be really embarrassed that someone was just sharing this story about her naivety to the entire world. Maybe not, maybe she wouldn't care, but it's just, to me, it just seems, I feel like the story could have been told in less detail, if even at all, in a way that was a little less potentially degrading. But that's just me.
And I, this homeschooled, innocent virgin who didn't ever take a health class, because my parents always signed me out of it. So the only way I knew any of that was whatever my mom had told me. So I had very minimal knowledge of this, but I knew that is not how it worked. Mm-hmm. But this girl was confident that she was pregnant. And I could not talk her down. Like, she was very confident she was pregnant. So that happened at that party. And the only other time I drank was like at a friend's house.
You remember all that?
Now, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if this girl was freaked out or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if in her very young, naive brain, she was kind of like, ooh, I'm pregnant by the popular kid. Like, I'm going to be tied forever to this guy. So there may have been a part of her that was actually naively excited over the idea. I don't know, just a thought.
Because that's crazy. That's a core memory. When a girl thinks that she got pregnant through 2 pairs of underwear.
I know, but you believed that it was probably true, it sounds like.
0% I thought it was true. I thought it was crazy. That's crazy. I was like, there's no way you're pregnant. Like, that's not possible.
What is this, like, cuddle spoon party you're going to in high school? This theater kid party where you're all like, let's have a screwdrivers and cuddle with our clothes on.
No, I didn't cuddle. I left. It was when everyone was spending the night. I had left at that point. Mm-hmm. She told me the next day that had happened. I didn't cuddle anyone. Are you kidding me? I didn't. No one would cuddle me. I was such a loser.
Yeah, right.
I swear. Sometimes you say, like, oh, we would have dated in high school. Never would have happened. You would have made fun of me. No. You'd have bullied me.
What are you talking about?
Very interesting dynamic that Erik is like, oh, yeah, right. Like, you were attractive. You are attractive. It sounds like he really is like, this sounds so mean. I don't want to be like, wow, he's attracted to his wife. But to me, it really sounds like he really does see her as a very attractive person. And he sees her as someone who would have been very attractive to him, even in high school. Finds it impossible to believe that she wasn't uber popular in high school. Like, yeah, it's actually kind of cute for him. Like, he's kind of dealing with these crossed arms, like, yeah, sure. But really what that's saying is, you're cute, you were cute. I would have thought you were cute. I would have dated you if I had the chance. Like, I like that dynamic between this married couple that most of the time seems like they can't stand each other. But anyway.
I would have bullied you.
You would have. Because you were that jock theater kid.
No.
You never bullied anyone?
No, I'm not a bully.
And the fact that Colleen makes it very clear that she was never popular and she was always just the nerdy theater kid. I mean, again, I can't tell how much of her really believes that and how much of her feels like people just misunderstood her the entire time and she was actually this incredible artist that people just missed, and just couldn't see how incredible of an individual she was. I don't know. Anyway.
Okay. I still think you would have bullied me. But yeah, my episode of Euphoria would just be theater choir and I'd be getting bullied, which is an episode of Glee.
And you convincing your friends who cuddled someone with their clothes on that they're not pregnant.
Right. I had some friends who were a little
That sounds like a kind of good
intense,
episode.
but I never did anything crazy in high school. And so whenever you're like, oh no, our kids' high school is going to be so scary. Like, yeah, sure, high school might be scary just because like, that's a hard time for humans in life as teenage years and like discovering yourself. And that's going to be hard for our kids to go through, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I'm not concerned that they're going to be having Euphoria episodes.
See, I was, and thinking it was so different from my experience and thinking that like, oh, well, I'm old, and this is why I think I'm old now. This is why I think this, watching the show. And then I realized it wasn't that. It was not that different from my experience.
True.
But I didn't grow up in Los Angeles or a big city or a suburb. I grew up.
You guys
suburb
tell us,
of
please.
Of a big city. I grew up like in small town New Jersey, then Connecticut.
Euphoria
But
is insanely unrealistic. It's not how high schools are.
I'm saying it's not that. I've come to the realization, like going through my core memories, like it's not that far off. Which is almost scarier now being a parent, especially now being in a big city.
It is far off. It is way far off from my experience. I'd say the only thing that is similar is like the relationships, like the friendships that you make in high school and like the bond you make with those people. What? I'm serious. Like that's
the friendships?
Yeah, like the girls who are like, they go through all this crazy stuff together.
Yeah.
And
I mean, maybe I'm reading too far into things, but I feel like this is another example of Colleen being like, my experience is the definition. So she's like, I didn't experience that in high school, therefore that's not what high school is like. And Eric's looking at her like, I did experience that. That was my experience. It's not far off because for some people around the very huge US that exists, wherein there are many high schools, for some people, this is representative. And it's just kind of like Colleen can't even really fathom that.
and they're best friends and they're there for each other through all these crazy things. And like, no one understands what they're going through except for the people who are their age and going through high school with them. Like, that's relatable to me. And like, I had that experience with my few friends in high school, like soulmate type feeling of like, this is the only person who understands me. And so that's relatable. But everything else, like all the crazy amounts of sexual relations, that's normal for high schoolers. Lovey, are you kidding me?
No!
I don't even know you.
You don't? Okay.
Oh my God. It was like,
I never realized just how insecure, I mean, with this episode and the one we were watching before where she was reacting to his Instagram, she really does, I think, get really insecure over the idea of him being with other women, with numerous other women, with women who are getting paid to do that kind of thing. I think it makes her, I mean, it would make me very uncomfortable, so I don't want to like downplay that, but for her being someone who has clearly been at least accused, which I believe accurately, of just horrible behavior, horrible humor, all of that, to be so deeply insecure over her husband's past, that's very interesting.
is that your experience?
No!
Lovey!
What?
I feel like I don't know.
I think it's time for an ad.
Okay, let's do thanks for our next sponsor.
Let's change the
Helix.
subject.
You guys know we love Helix up in this. But I want to know your episode of
I thought we
Euphoria.
were moving on. I have other things to talk
No,
about.
we need to know your episode of Euphoria, please.
No, I have
Yes.
like many other questions for you
No,
that I
because
wrote
now I'm so
down.
curious.
Now, yep, exactly. She's about to say it. Now she's like, okay, what do I not know about you? And what do I now need to be really concerned about deep down inside my head, even though I have no reason to be concerned about it because that's not who you are anymore. Now I need to freak out about things. That's a whole, I probably shouldn't be going on this tangent, but I've had this conversation with people before. I think it's very important when you're getting together with someone, it's important to know, I think I've said it on this channel, like have kind of bird's eye view conversations over each other's pasts. I think that's good. I don't think you should keep it a secret as to like, have you been with people? Do you have any sort of, STIs or whatever? I mean, and that's certainly not a date number one conversation, but I think those kinds of conversations eventually are important to have. But conversations of, what did they look like? What did you do? When and where? How often? Blah, blah, blah. Like, those are not necessary conversations. So her wanting to be like, okay, exactly what would your episode be like? It's her, I think, wanting to dive further into things than she needs to from a place of insecurity. I'm probably overly reading into this, but stuff like this, not within the context of talking about Euphoria, but things like this, and I've experienced this in my own story, of people getting too curious and asking too many questions out of insecurity can create really unhealthy dynamics. I think there needs to be a balance of, okay, here's my past, here's my history. Don't need to know all the sordid details. It's not going to help anyone out. Yeah.
Curious if you were just
Did
like
I even
having
say
sex
what
every
it
day.
needs to relax? Like, who
You
needs
said Euphoria. Wait, can you please tell me your episode of Euphoria? What would happen? You're the lead. You're Rue.
There
on the hot
again,
seat.
but it's more small town. It's like in the woods, you know what I mean? It's not like in a big city, so there's no alleys, unfortunately. But the streets are wet from rain.
Okay.
If that looks cool on camera.
We're not talking about the cinematic.
Yeah,
we're
and then I'm
talking
taking my
about
BMX bike to my best friend's
many
house, and
people are you
we're stealing a pack of Virginia Slim 100s out of
What's
her pantry. It's a cigarette, but it's
I
like
thought you were talking about jerky, like Slim Jims. I've never heard of that before. Slim. It sounds like a Slim Jim.
You ever heard of Virginia Slim 100s?
No.
It's not
Is
beef
that a
jerky.
popular cigarette?
Cigarette? I don't think so. Maybe somewhere.
So you're
but they're like the
smoking
extra.
cigarettes?
Have you ever
Oh,
seen like
geez
the extra
Louise.
long ones?
Like in old movie stars, like where they have the long, like.
Not like they have like the
Hey,
thing that like a cigarette holder, but like they're just longer. I guess for more.
Did your parents know you were smoking cigarettes? Because
No,
you can't
yes,
smell that.
yeah, I guess, yeah,
You
maybe.
can't hide that scent.
No, but I wasn't like smoking cigarettes. I was smoking like the occasional to look cool. That was like in the look. It was like it wasn't like in the addictive
It
stage.
doesn't look cool,
it was
by the
like
way.
no, and it certainly doesn't. It was in the look cool stage, but like,
I find it so
She-
interesting how, again, since this was before her entire life crumbled around her, she's trying to make all these side comments that are supposed to be like, I want to be a good representation to children. So kids, don't drink underage. Kids, it's not cool to smoke. And honestly, I believe she fully was in that headspace to herself. I don't think she's ever seen herself as someone who is capable of harming kids, who had terrible, horrible humor that's completely inappropriate. She doesn't see that. So I think she really does see herself as someone who has high standards for how kids should be living, and then had shows that were friendly for like 13 and up. And that's all she sees of herself. It's very interesting.
cartons of them like in her pantry. So we would steal a pack.
And smoke them to
And
look cool?
no, not there. We would then ride our bikes to the mall, to where you would just hang out in a mall parking lot.
This is something
this
I
a good
don't
episode
understand.
of television? Is this good?
No, okay, this is something I don't understand.
Wait, what now?
Because you said this a lot, and I've heard a lot of people say this. This was, again, not my experience. There wasn't really a mall in my town. There's two outdoor malls. But I hear this all the time. High schoolers hang out at malls.
Uh-huh.
This is why. This is a thing? Just because there's a food court and you need a pretzel? Like, I don't get it.
Food court, pretzel, movie
weather.
theater.
Weather is probably the issue. Because for us, we go to the beach and hang
I
out.
didn't know what you were doing. You just started screaming weather at me,
No,
and I'm
because
like,
I'm
why?
thinking-
I'm just saying in my head you were just screaming weather at
Well,
me
now I'm
repeatedly.
realizing it
and I'm
just
like,
clicked.
Why would we be
Weather,
inside?
because where's a place that you can go inside and hang out, and it's a big space.
Oh yeah, because the mall's on the East Coast, and
It's like snow and rain and whatever.
yeah.
Whereas like for us, we just hang out in the beach
I'd
or in the mountains.
never seen an outdoor mall before moving to
That's really
LA.
interesting. But I also feel like a lot of times kids who don't have their driver's license yet will get dropped off by their parents. Maybe tell me if I'm wrong. And malls nowadays are so decrepit I imagine not many people hang out at them anymore. But I do feel like it was a place where parents could assume their kids would be safe, their kids could wander, do stuff, be entertained for hours, have a sense of autonomy. But also parents know they are in this contained space. They're not just going to be out and about amongst the crazy people in the world. I don't know, just a thought.
I'd never seen an indoor mall until like college. Anyway, so your episode of Euphoria would be you steal cigarettes and you ride your bike to the mall and then you smoke the cigarettes at the mall?
like mom cigarettes, so like they're not even.
But you
know what I mean?
smoke them at the mall?
Like yeah, in, like the back parking lot of the mall,
So
and
you
then
said
like
to look cool, but to look cool to who? Your friend? Why are you trying to impress your guy friend?
She won't even
no,
let
I'm
him
just
finish.
yeah, to people around. Yeah, I don't know.
You
to
want
just
just
feel
people
cool,
walking
just to
past?
impress me. Yeah, I don't know. And then it would be like we're gonna start a fire in the woods. And
It's
we're
very
gonna
irresponsible.
drink this beer that we found
Where'd you find
in
it?
someone's shed that was like warm.
Wait, what shed?
I don't know, like
Where
a
are you finding
dad's shed.
So
Like
you're
some
stealing
dad has
cigarettes
a
from
shed.
mom and stealing beer from a shed.
Yeah, it's all-
Okay. I feel like pretzels are like
The-
lies.
like it's.
Where are you stealing beer? What shed
I
beer?
just told you from sheds and pantries.
Okay.
What do you not
So
understand?
you just
what do
go
you not
drink
following?
beer and like make a fire.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but you said that Euphoria is very close to like your high school
And there would
experience.
be like, well, because there's like parties with underage
See,
drinking.
yet again, she really wants to know the details of, okay, who are you really? Because she's nervous.
And there is.
Sex?
No, I'm not saying that.
How much sex did you have in high school, love?
See?
Euphoria amounts.
I love it.
This
Oh
is my
gosh.
episode. This is your
You
episode.
guys, this is for real. we're married and have 3 kids, and I don't know about this information.
What are you talking
I'm
about?
learning about you right now.
I'm not-
That you had
I'm not
euphoria
saying-
amounts of sex.
I'm not-
in high-
I was just about to say, this is, I mean, if it's true, if they really never talked about it, that's on her and them. I mean, I do, like I said, I think it's important not to ask so many questions that you're getting into unnecessary details that will likely just be harmful. But like, I can't fathom marrying someone and not knowing to some extent what their high school was like, even in this context. And then, you know, were you a partier? What are your thoughts on drinking? What are your thoughts on smoking? If you're okay with this or that, how much? Like, yeah, I mean, depending, like, I'm not okay with smoking, but like, if you're okay with smoking, it's like, would you care how much it was or what type or whatever? You know, I think those conversations are necessary. So it's sad that they didn't talk about this kind of stuff when they were getting together, but also I think I remember they seem to not have gotten together under very good circumstances, we'll just say, so that probably explains a lot.
What's your count?
I'm not saying I did. I'm just saying, like,
You didn't?
I'm just saying that this is like my episode. So I'm just writing an episode.
Okay. And in your episode, is there sex?
She really can't let this go. This needs to be off camera.
Oh my
At
god.
this point.
Okay. Whoa. Come back. Okay. So there is, I guess. Oh my god, my
Freaking
parents listen to
husband
this. Oh.
There isn't, love.
Okay. Anyway, so I don't think that sounds like Euphoria. Euphoria is like they're doing so much drugs. Did you do a lot of drugs in high school?
No.
What did you?
No, but I mean, I guess they were like, I guess those characters did.
I mean, he does know a lot about pot, so he did a lot of pot.
like they were around. Like, no, it's mostly like, you know,
What?
pot and beers.
Did you try any other crazy drugs in high school?
No.
Did you?
No, not really. No, not really.
really?
What?
That's not no.
No, but not like, it wasn't like I bought a suitcase full of like, these things didn't exist. Like I don't know. It wasn't like the pharmaceutical type.
Yeah.
That wasn't like a part of like the trend, which is to me really scary for people that are younger now because it feels like it's very deadly. And
I
on a
remember-
serious note.
I appreciate that he's trying to get serious. I'm not sure that Colleen's going to stay on a serious note, but I can see what he's trying. I mean, I as like when I was uploaded the video where I was telling my own personal story, I'm not okay when people are starting to delve into more painful details of their past. I don't think it's ever wise to be like, okay, before I tell you these details, just know it's not as bad as it could be. It's not as bad as it is now. Like, there shouldn't be qualifications because then that shows a real sense of defensiveness, and these kind of conversations just need to be held just with a completely open hand, not trying to explain or minimize, just this is my reality. So I got a little bit concerned when he was like, well, I mean, it's, you know, not a lot. Like, okay, just be honest, maybe not on camera, but have an honest conversation about what kind of drugs did you do, how often did you do it, like, don't try to defend stuff. But at the same time, I can also see what he's saying, where now being however many maybe decades removed from this age group, being like, wow, like when we were high schoolers, if we ever dabbled in XYZ, it was hard to get, and now it's just right around the corner for everyone. Like, I could see him kind of being of the mindset of like, I couldn't have even if I tried because it wasn't that easy, and now it is, and it's shocking.
Yes.
I guess I do remember one time in high school. So in California, a lot of the high schools go to Disneyland for grad night. It's called grad night at Disneyland, and they like shut down Disneyland and they let all these high school seniors just run amok around the park. Disneyland. Did you know this is a thing?
No.
So it's a Southern California thing. I don't know if they still do it, but they did it when I was in high school every year. They shut down Disneyland for the whole night.
For your high school to just go
All
to
high
Disneyland?
schools in Southern California.
And just to all go to Disneyland together, a bunch of high schools?
All night long. And from like midnight to 6 a.m.
What
It's
could
wild.
possibly
If
go
we
wrong?
had that where we were, it would be an episode of Euphoria.
I just remember
we
this
had
one
that. We
girl.
had woods.
This one girl who I'm pretty sure, oh no, that's someone else. This one girl, she came up to me on the bus and she was like, hey, I'm so excited. Guess what? I have taped to my nipples. Because like they search you before you go in to make sure you don't have any drugs or alcohol on you.
Wow.
Oh, that's smart.
She's like,
Anyone
I have
looking
E taped to
for
my
a
nipples.
place to hide just tape it to your nipples. You heard it
he's
here.
Joking.
Tell them where you heard.
But I remember her telling me that and me going like, cool, and having no idea what she was
talking
talking about. I was like, what's an E? What does she mean E? What's E? Like I did not know what she meant. And then later my friend asked my friend and she told me ecstasy.
To be fair,
words.
in high school, I probably wouldn't have done what that meant either, because I was also a very conservative homeschool high schooler. But
She telling you this?
I don't know. We were like casual friends. I don't know if she like wanted me to do it
seems-
with her
I
or
don't know,
what.
seems more than
I think she
casual.
was bragging to everyone on the bus that she had it.
Gotcha.
yeah, I'm sure she was very proud of herself for having it. High schoolers get very proud of themselves for the dumbest things. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Where were you sitting on this bus? Were you in the front?
Always the back.
You're at the back?
Oh, always the
I don't
back.
picture you as a back of the bus kind of girl.
Always the back of the bus. Get out of town. This is the front of the bus.
I don't know. I just in high school.
Are
I
you the
did-
back of the bus or the front of the bus?
Of course I'm at the
I feel
back of the
like-
bus,
I
but
feel
I
like
just
you're the
feel
middle
like-
of the bus kind of kid.
Nah,
You're like
I don't know.
I'm gonna go 3/4 of the way type of kid.
No, I'm at the back, but I feel like I just can't picture you at the back of the bus.
Yeah, I think I'm a back of the bus kid. For sure.
What are you doing at the back of the bus in high school?
See, either it's because she's so desirous of people's attention and praise that he's like, I know you. I know that you're kind of arrogant and really wanting people to love you, and you would never let yourself go to the back of the bus. He's either thinking that way, or the way that I would prefer to imagine he's thinking of her. It's like, you're so full of life and popular and well-loved. What are you doing, woman, that I so appreciate, even though she's kind of annoying? Like, why on earth would you even be in the back of the bus? I'd like to imagine that's kind of the angle he's taking.
I don't know, you're next to the bathrooms, easy access.
Bathrooms.
Bathroom. I take a yellow bus. That's what we should talk about, yellow bus.
You had bus? You had
chartered buses for field trips in high school?
Oh, no, I'm talking about like on the school bus.
I didn't take a school bus. I never took a school bus.
Having a mental breakdown. When you said bathrooms, I'm like, what school
No,
bus?
like
has
those chartered buses for like field trips.
Where are you taking charter buses all the time? in high school?
Disneyland.
Oh my God, this is not my experience on the East Coast. Like,
No,
we
I never took a school bus.
We never took charter buses.
We talked about this yesterday. I am shocked that school buses still exist, those yellow ones. They are so dangerous. There's no seatbelts, no air conditioning.
You don't know that. I think they have seatbelts.
I don't know. Do they still actually? Because I was
When
telling
was the last
Erik.
time you were on a school bus? 20 years ago.
Well,
Never, apparently, it sounds like.
But do they still use those yellow school buses to take kids to school? I feel like they're really dangerous.
I don't know. I'm not big in the school bus community. I don't know.
Anyway,
if
so
there's things
your episode of Euphoria would be cigarettes from a mom in a pantry,
I think so.
beer from a shed, going to the mall to smoke a cigarette in front of like
lighting
middle-aged moms
fire-
who are going into shop,
lighting fires in the
fire
woods.
and then having sex. Where's the sex part? At a party? You'd go to parties where that happened?
Well, there would be parties.
So do you know people who? Because this I've always seen in movies and in high school.
I told you about my high school parties. It was always like a parents.
But tell me if this is
What?
your human experience, and tell me in the comments if this is a real thing. I see this all the time in TV and movies where there's a party and then like two people go upstairs in one of the rooms during the party and hook up. That's in, like every high school movie, every high school TV show. This is a thing. There's like a big party and two people like, let's go upstairs and go upstairs during a party and hook up. Is that a real thing that happens? Because I cannot believe that. Who would hook up knowing that like all your friends were like on the other side of the wall? That seems crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that, did you?
Usually there's alcohol involved, and usually when there's alcohol involved, it makes you not really think clearly or care. So I don't understand how this is so confusing. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was happening.
Do that?
I don't know. I don't think that's the thing. Well, I mean,
Have you ever done that?
no, I just think that
Look
like
at
at that
her.
time,
She's really trying to get the details. She is so insecure.
like your options were very limited. You know what I mean? Like where else are you gonna do it? You know what I mean? It's like you had your own
So you
apartment.
did this.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not admitting to that on this public podcast or to you to your face. But I'm just saying like you're at that age your options were limited. So it's like you literally had like your car,
Well, there's the option to
that
not
upstairs
do it,
bathroom at that party,
abstinence,
or like the fields.
or abstinence,
Oh, Colleen.
or not doing it.
You're right.
You're not one to talk about that. I don't think.
Just say no.
Could be wrong, but
That's crazy to me.
What did I say that was crazy?
That people just like hook up with each other like at parties where all your friends
Yeah.
are there. That's so weird to
Yeah.
me. At like someone else's house on like their parents' bed or something. I can't believe you've done that. Also,
Never
you are
done that.
10 feet away from your microphone. Okay, well, your episode of Euphoria sounds pretty crazy to me. I thought this was a Valentine's Day episode. We're talking about how you used to have sex at parties with other girls that aren't me.
Nobody is talking about that.
Ugh,
But you.
Lovey, my goodness.
Nobody is talking about that.
Well, you know what we are talking about. Our next sponsor.
sponsor.
Our next sponsor is Audible, and I am so excited. You guys know it's going to prove who loves who more.
But if I take it, are you gonna take it?
No, I'm just going to have you take it.
Okay.
So, because I don't want to have to take it twice, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And we're just going to fight about it, I'm sure.
Okay.
So the first question is, who
Yeah.
calls the other one first?
I call you first. No. What do you think?
I'd say I call you way more than you call me, but it's up to you. It's your partner, you both
but
do, or neither one of you does.
Fine, you call me more, but you're calling me from another room in the house to ask me to bring you something.
True. So which one do you think it is?
So you.
Your partner? Okay, your partner.
Yeah.
Okay,
the
next.
question is, does he find that annoying or not? I can't tell.
Who apologizes first between the two of you?
Me.
Oh, yeah.
Not a chance.
I was totally going to say him because I can't imagine her apologizing at all, but
For
You're
me,
insane if you
me
think
for
that.
sure. At least lately, you have to
You are a lunatic.
take this microphone, shove it up your own ass.
You are.
You
know-
You never
every
apologize.
every like little
You
skirmish we've had,
are crazy.
I immediately
You're
I
crazy.
walked into our bedroom nights ago and went, sorry.
That is
And
true.
hugged
You did do that. You
Yeah.
did do that.
Now name the last time you did that to me.
Every time we ever argue, I always say sorry first. Always. You're a crazy person. I always say sorry first.
You don't.
Are you being? Are you
And when you say
joking?
sorry, you say like a fine, I'm sorry. Like you say like the most.
I believe that. I believe her thinking that she's saying sorry because the word sorry is coming out of her mouth, but him being like, yeah, no, you're not sorry at all. That I could totally believe.
Ingenuine, I'm sorry.
I do that.
The way you say I'm sorry is as if to say like, F you. I just want this
Conversation
to be over.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Goodbye. You know what I mean? It's like so. It's like the worst.
She admits to it. She's agreeing to that.
It's like you might as well just be saying the F you part.
No, sometimes I do that. I definitely do that. But I also always
And she's also itching her nose.
apologize first. for sure. But okay.
No, I mean, I'm taking this quiz, and so I'm saying me.
You are crazy.
No.
See, just the fact that I'm assuming she went into this expecting that he would say that and planning on just like telling him 10,000 times in a row that he's insane. But just her response to me says plenty. Like, if this is actually, I don't know if this is just kind of like, you know, overdone for the camera and she wouldn't respond that way in real life. But like, let's say this was actually a real life conversation where someone's like, do you feel like I apologize enough? Or I tend to apologize first. And the other person's like, not really. And they're like, you're insane. That's a really defensive response that to me says, yeah, you being this defensive does not really read as someone who would apologize first or genuinely. Like someone who genuinely wants to be able to apologize well. If they said, hey, do I apologize enough? Do I seem genuine? If the person responded back with like, no, you don't really apologize that much, or when you do, it's not genuine. A real person, like a truly caring person would be like, oh, shoot, okay, well, how can I work on this? Let me think about this, or give me your thoughts, and I'm going to try to really do better at that. I don't like using the phrase do better. I don't know why. There's something about that rubs me the wrong way, but I'm really going to work on this in myself because I want you to know that I truly am sorry when I make a mistake. That's the mindset that someone should be having if they're so very convinced they apologize first.
Oh.
Okay, fine.
I'm not.
Okay, next. Who remembers every defining past moment of the relationship? I'd say neither one of us does. That's an answer. The answers are you, your partner, you both do, or neither one of you does.
Yeah, neither one. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even.
What's our anniversary?
I have no
me.
idea.
Yeah.
Who wakes up early to cook breakfast for the other?
Me.
Yeah, you definitely do. Who thinks about buying gifts all the time?
Me.
But she has babies, so I'll just give her that.
You.
I'm winning. I feel like I'm winning.
Who swears by the relationship between the two of you? What?
Like who swears a lot?
No, it says,
Like me.
No, it says who swears by the relationship between the two of you? Both of us? Like what? What does that mean? Who swears by the relationship? Is it
Swearing by the does that mean something like who is more confident in it? Maybe.
Like means like we swear by it.
you? Neither one of you does because you find it cringy. Your partner, you both do because
I
you love
actually
each other
don't
very much.
understand the question.
Yeah, I'm just
Just
gonna say
say
you both do because I
yeah.
don't know what the heck that means. Okay, who wants to have sex? I didn't know that was a question. I'm so uncomfortable. I'm so uncomfortable with sex talks in public. I don't like it.
As you should be.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you have potty humor like all the time without a second thought. I don't get her brain truly parses itself in ways that I don't understand.
Can we skip this one?
What is the rest
I'm
of the
just
question?
gonna-
Just say the rest of the question.
That's the question. Who
Who
wants
is sex?
Who wants to more? I'm just giving this one because I'm gonna blush. Am I blushing?
You're the same color as your hat.
Oh, geez, Louise. Oh my God, one of the answers is you are never in the mood to be honest. Okay, anyway.
Is that the one you clicked?
No, I put us both. Who takes most initiatives for the
Of course you put both. Of course.
couple?
What
do you think?
I missed it.
I think me.
Okay.
Let's go do this. Let's go do that.
I just booked us a vacation on the
do this.
beach.
Yeah. I mean, booking an Airbnb once every 8 months is not.
You're so ungrateful.
I'm not saying I'm ungrateful. I'm just saying like every day this is something I do.
I do too.
I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying I do it more. It was a basic
Okay,
question.
fine. You're doing this quiz, so you can say you. Who mostly says I love you first?
Me.
No way. I do.
Flynn.
I do.
Okay.
You think you do? This is your quiz. I'm arguing with
Do you?
I think I
You
say
think you
more.
do?
I
Okay.
literally, the first thing I did this morning was text you, I love you, my Valentine. That was the first thing this morning.
So this is a completely random side note, but I find it so interesting. I wasn't really ever going to mention this because I didn't know if it was that important, but in a recent video that she did, she mentioned that eye contact is really difficult for her. And I do feel like she looks at Erik a good bit in these podcasts, but if you watch her eyes, they wander a ton. And like she'll say a sentence looking at him and then look away very quickly. And I always just found that really fascinating. I never really, since I'm not a professional, I don't know what all that could mean, but it's interesting. And like even right now she's doing it. But yeah, I feel like this episode would be excellent in front of a marriage counselor because they clearly view themselves as the more caring, loving individual, and they're very confused as to how the other person doesn't also agree with that. And I think this really needs to be an ongoing conversation, an ongoing discussion of what are you seeing for me? How am I presenting myself? This is how I thought I was presenting myself, but what would land on you better to actually, for us both to really feel that we're both in this jointly, putting the efforts in it that we both need, whatever, I'm just rambling. But
I felt guilty about
And
something.
you said, I love you, my Valentine. You said it right back. But I said it first. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to say you both do.
Nice.
Who cries the most? It says who cries the most when you break up for a small period of time. Okay, that has never happened. But who cries the most? Me, obviously. I mean, that's...
Didn't even like. Yeah.
You love your partner a bit more, it says. You both have a lot of love.
I
and
love
respect
you
for
more
each
than
other.
you love me?
That's what the quiz
Oh,
says.
okay.
But
Shocking.
that's not true. I love you more for sure. I think we both love each other.
But that quiz says I love you more than you love me?
It does say that. But you know what? When
Love
we
you.
He's so not surprised. And honestly, I'm not that surprised, but
first started dating, we didn't like the word love because we were like, what a stupid word to describe how we feel about each other. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously remember this. We were like, we didn't even like to say we loved each other because we were like, that's so dumb. Like, how amateur compared to what we have. You know what I mean? We were just like,
What?
how stupid.
How amateur.
Ew.
to me, that sounds like a self-protective defense measure. I feel like, I don't understand. Why would you say love? It's not love. I mean, yeah, I don't understand why they would feel uncomfortable with that if it weren't for feeling uncomfortable with what led them together, which I've heard was not great. And so maybe being afraid to have any part of like a true, let's just make the assumption that they got together in an unhealthy way. Maybe the cognitive dissonance in their brain saying this is unhealthy, and so we're just going to shove away anything that is healthy that reminds us of just how unhealthy we are. Maybe, I don't know. Interesting.
How lame. Just like boyfriends and girlfriends in marriage, what we have is way more intense and amazing. We just thought, and we genuinely felt
Yeah, marriage. Yeah, especially for her, because I mean, I don't know all the details. I don't know if they're all confirmed or not, so I don't want to assume too much. But I could see her having a defense mechanism against the construct, if you will, of marriage when she first met him.
feel like no one else on the planet could possibly feel how we feel. I remember we talked about this all the time when we first started dating. Like, I love you. Lame. It's more than that. Anyway, it's true.
Sounds like a one.
Yeah, because they probably really wanted to feel like what they had was way better than the other stuff and way better than the other people, so that they could justify their new relationship. Rather than like, no, love is love, and I'm not sure what you do or don't have between each other, but
You didn't win.
Oh, I feel like I'm a winner in my heart.
You're a winner in your fart.
I knew you were going to do that.
I
that's
why I
my
love you.
humor.
That's why. Anyway, that was a fun little quiz. Do you
Was
have
it?
quizzes?
You idiot. Do I have quizzes? No, I don't know.
What do you have for this
Prep
Valentine's Day
quizzes.
episode? Because you're the one who was like, let's do Valentine's Day episode.
Well, it's coming out 2 days after Valentine's Day. Yeah, I have some segment ideas. You
Okay.
know, just
I think I
pitch
have
them
a
to
bug
you.
bite on my face.
Where?
Do I have a bug bite over here? It's so itchy.
Yeah, I don't know, scratch it more. Let me go. You scratch it
ADHD.
more, or like pay more attention to it. Maybe it'll
Turn
turn
a
into one. Yeah.
He thinks all my bug bites are fake. He thinks I make. Okay, anyway, moving on. Valentine's Day. What are you doing?
Valentine's Day. I had a fun segment idea
Okay.
that would be reading our old text messages to each other
Okay.
out of context and
Okay.
seeing if the other could place what the context is.
Okay, this is fun.
Is that a good idea?
Did you do this? Or how old a text message are we talking? Like, are you just gonna scroll for
I
hours?
didn't scroll that long, but like,
I'm curious when she asked that, again, not knowing for sure the details of how they got together, but I'm curious if she was getting a little worried about like, if you're going real far back, maybe only go back this far.
this was an idea. I mean, surely like someone else. I don't know.
Okay.
I thought it was
So you're
I
gonna-
think it's my idea.
Yeah,
Like,
so wait,
I
you're
think I
gonna
thought of
read a
this.
text and I have to guess who said it and guess what the context was?
Sure. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm looking through.
I wonder how far back you're gonna go because I feel like I'll
Well,
remember
it'd be
everything.
really hard
They're
to
all
go-
gonna be just like about like baby rashes or things like that. I feel like. Okay, what is it? What's it gonna say?
Well, okay. So
I'm scared.
I had screenshot this when I had this idea
surprised.
earlier today. I screenshotted one. Why is it not there?
You didn't screenshot
I
it
hate
correctly.
Screenshots.
Okay.
So this game is you have to guess who texted who this and in what context.
Okay.
Back to the yawning.
So here's
waiting.
here's the text message.
Okay.
But they didn't
And
have kids.
I have hemorrhoids. Bleeding, painful hemorrhoids. OMG.
What do you mean? I have to guess. I texted you this yesterday. Like, what do you mean? I have to guess who said that? What do you mean?
Okay,
like,
you got that part right. And
Literally,
we're-
any listener, anyone who's only watched this podcast, their only context of you and me is just this. They would have guessed that.
This
I
is
texted
true.
you that yesterday.
I know. Yeah, I know you did. You got it. You're a winner.
I thought you were gonna go deep into our text message. Was that the only one?
That's the only one I
That's
prepared.
not a game. You can't just read one
Okay,
text and
so
think
now
yesterday.
you look through our old
Oh,
text
jeez.
messages.
Okay, text messages. Text mix. That sounds good. Okay, so now I've scrolled back and I'm gonna read you a text message and you have to guess who said it and what the context was.
Okay.
And to be honest,
What?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Okay. So one of us said, "Wanna help me beef? Wanna help me beef babies, Blizzarder."
You're an idiot. Beef babies?
Yeah, so one of us said, "Wanna help me beef babies, Blizzarder," and then the other person said, "Beef babies."
Well, is it blue? I mean, you can tell, right, if it's blue or not.
I can tell
See.
because there's a game you have to guess.
I'm guessing it's me. I was saying, like, give him a bath. But I spelled it wrong or something.
It was me. I said it, and I don't know what I was trying to say. I said, "Want to help me beef babies, Blizzarder," and you said, "Beef babies."
And then what did you say?
Then I just
He's
talked
like,
about
we have an appointment tomorrow.
So we'll never know what that was about. I'm sure it was like about bathing. All right, so
I'm not gonna lie, it is cute to see them like kind of laughing and being goofy together. I do want to believe that they have positive times with each other and there are things they really like about each other. It could be a situation where there's things that they can't stand and they don't get about each other, but then there's things that they really do enjoy and appreciate about each other. I would hope. I mean, that's the standard for really any relationship to some extent. I feel like it's just sometimes the negatives really just seem never ending with them. So it's hard to know, you know, on the scales of things, how much is one versus the other.
let's say thanks for our next sponsor before we continue on with this epi.
Let's not.
People are paying us to do this?
Oh, yeah.
They started to sleep, ordering Denny's.
Wait, she changed? I'm
Oh,
confused.
you get 20% off your first order by going to nativedeo.com/Colleen or use promo code Colleen at checkout. That's nativedeo.com/Colleen or use promo code Colleen at
Trying to
checkout
see
for
if she
20% off your first order. Okay, so do you have more text for me or is that it? Was that the game?
Well,
There's no
I'm not
explanation.
saying they're text from you. I'm just saying they're text between us, and you have to identify
Right.
who is it from and the context.
Right.
She must have just gotten overheated
My
or
period
something.
just came back.
Well,
no.
Obviously, I mean, what are you even saying? Like, as
was.
if you would text that. Do you have more?
That
Yeah.
probably is
Ordering
really pretty much the every single woman's thought process in her head. No.
Taco Bell, because
Come on, this isn't a
I
game.
apparently have a death wish. Want anything?
Okay, clearly that's me.
that you?
I thought these were supposed to be hard.
I want French fries, pumping.
What? Come on. I thought this
you
game
have
would be more
any?
interesting. No, I don't. I didn't know we were playing this game.
He finally started to sleep, ordering Denny's. Want anything?
These are all from me.
Actually, Taco Bell.
You're moving on. Do you have any other?
I will tattle on myself, and it's embarrassing. But so in the relationship that I had before my husband, I didn't realize how much of a common courtesy it was to, if I was running out and getting something, going to the store, or getting some kind of fast food whenever I did eat it. It's common courtesy to say, "Hey, I'm going here. Do you want some?" And I had to actually learn that because I'd just be like, "Hey, I'm going and getting blah blah," and the guy would be like, "Can I have some? Can you get me some?" So I've learned, and so now if I'm going out anywhere, if I'm getting something, I'll usually not, I mean, sometimes I'll run by the store and get myself something if it's really later in the evening or something, but usually I'll be like, "Do you need anything?" I've learned.
Games, you're just gonna read my
I need
text.
comfort food, so I'm ordering McDonald's. Don't judge me. I'll eat healthy for
But
dinner.
I remember that text because I said, "Don't judge me," and I'm pretty sure your response back was like, "You're disgusting," and I was like, "I just said don't judge me."
I responded, I can't think of a worse thing for my immune system.
Okay, are we gonna play a game or are we just gonna read all my texts?
I think
to you?
that's all
Okay.
I screenshotted now.
Oh man, guys, guess what? We
What?
just took an hour and a half, 2 hour break during.
Oh, there we go.
So like we went to an ad, and then we actually had to take an actual break in real life because our son Wesley was screaming upstairs because he is teething. He has the audacity to be teething at 3 months old. This is, for those of you who don't know anything about babies and when babies teeth,
Well, yeah.
normally it's like around 6 months
what
is
I
when they
thought.
start. And it says like if you Google it, it's like sometimes babies can teeth at like 4 months, and then like you're like it says somewhere it's like
But he's 3 months, but technically
he's
1
5
month.
weeks adjusted age. Like he should not be teething, and it's
Oh,
not
he
like
did really
I
early or
think
something?
he's teething. Like you can see the teeth, like he very much is teething, and he's
That poor guy's going through a lot.
screaming. So that's fun.
That
And you know what I was
sucks.
thinking is like with Flynn, I remember teething was so miserable because it was like, oh, his 2 bottom teeth would come in. It was such torture. And then you have like a day or 2 break, and then the top teeth would come in, and you have like a week break, and then another
It's
tooth in the bottom.
constant.
It's
It's
like constant
constant from now
teething.
on.
But then I was just thinking, I was rocking Wesley as he was screaming at me, and I was like, oh my god, we have 2.
Right, yeah. So as soon as he's getting through that, and you're like, oh, well, now it's on to the next teeth. Like, we have 2, yeah.
They're gonna.
Yeah, having twins, not that anyone really has a choice in the matter, but having twins is not for the faint of heart. I so respect anyone who is capable of raising twins. As I've said, I'm a twin, I'm adopted, and so the fact that my parents voluntarily put themselves in the line of fire of having twins, they are angelic beings. I don't know how they survived, but
There's
Inevitably,
nothing-
they're gonna
yeah.
both be teething at the same time at
There's
some point.
nothing-
Macy's not teething yet, but
Not yet, but
3 months old. What is he thinking?
it's very strange to like
What is his problem?
to be a parent when you're like, I shouldn't be a parent. And then all of a sudden you're like
no
kids?
comment.
pushing a stroller around with 2 kids in it.
Yeah.
And holding the hand of a third. Oh man. What have we done? Which brings me to our next segment.
Also, I don't know that I'd feel very great about being like hearing that. If Flynn heard that, and the Maisie and Wesley, if they heard that way later, my parents saying they shouldn't be parents, they're like, well, boy, I'm sorry that you made me.
that I came up with
Okay.
called Alone Time,
Okay.
which in this game, you say, what was your last alone time and what did you do?
I guess it would just be last time I was in the bathroom and I was like cleaning up like period.
Ew. No.
Okay.
I think-
What do you mean
I mean-
cleaning it up? Like as if it was on the
like-
walls?
It's a bad one. I don't want to get into the details.
So
Don't.
yes.
Please
It's not on
don't.
the walls. Get a life. Let's just say this. I slept in a diaper last night. Like full on was like at to a point where I was like, this is diaper material. So
Is that something? Wait,
yeah. No, people do not wear diapers on their
Is that-
periods. That's not a thing.
but you were just like, this is so bad, and I have diapers, adult diapers here for my pregnancy.
Well, I was looking for something to take care of what I was going through, and I found diapers, and I was like,
Lower
this
my
makes
chair.
sense. So
I
yeah,
need to lower my chair for that.
I don't have alone time other than that. Like sometimes when I go to the bathroom,
Awkward.
and that's not every time. Sometimes when I go to the bathroom, sometimes
Uh-huh.
I'm alone, but usually not. Usually Flynn's in there. I have to bring the babies in a stroller or whatever. So
When
sometimes,
you're pumping, you have
That'd
alone
be
time.
so
sometimes.
uncomfortable.
sometimes, yeah,
That's when you've been watching.
Euphoria.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, but I usually, I usually try to take the kid, one of the babies up. Like if one of the babies is
Yeah,
sleeping and
that's
I can
true.
handle a baby sleeping, or I can be feeding a baby with a bottle as I'm pumping, which seems counterproductive. I will do that so that I'm not leaving all three children with you or
Right.
with my mom or something.
Wow.
So yeah, I usually try to bring a kid up, but
I will say kudos to her. That sounds very stressful. I want to respect that.
sometimes, yeah. What about you?
Alone time for me this week has been painting a take-home Color Me Mine mug with lots of dots. So if you didn't know Color Me Mine, or if you don't know Color Me Mine, it is the place where you go to like paint pottery for like child parties
Right.
and gifts, and we do it take-home style. And I've been doing that a lot, which is something
I'm so
I expected
jealous.
to do at my age, was to, in my alone time, and by alone time I mean like in like the 20 minutes I get before I fall to sleep, like my hobby would be to, at this point,
Yeah, I'm so jealous. I want to
paint
finish my plates
a
so bad.
take-home.
I started my Color Me Mine
Color Me
plate
Mine
like
mug.
a month ago. And haven't-
Right. Well, I've had this mug in our house for a few months.
Okay.
Going through the grocery store
So
as
jealous.
quick as I can to pick up the items we need for a meal.
I'm so jealous.
And then it seems very frequent that because
It's
you text.
interesting that she keeps saying she's so jealous of all the things he's doing, and he's trying to stress this is not really valid alone time. It's just such an interesting dynamic right now. Oh my word.
Text me the meals. You text me the ingredients that I need to get. You say avocado, ready to eat.
Avocado.
And you've seen these avocados in the grocery store with a big orange sticker that says
Preach avocado.
ready. And it's made me question like who is making this assumption? Like who is the
Going around squeezing avocados
who's going around squeezing them all?
and putting a sticker on
Putting
them.
a sticker.
Well, what's weird is that like,
Gross big orange sticker says ready to eat.
also it's not even a necessary job, because have you ever seen a ready to eat sticker and just trusted it?
No.
you still
On
squeeze
anything.
avocado.
Like, you know when it's ready to eat.
Like,
Like
but
we're in
no
a
one-
grocery store. This is food you're selling.
But like no one gets an avocado and is like, that sticker says it's ready to eat. I'm just gonna trust the sticker and not squeeze a little to see if it's right.
I'm gonna
Oh,
one
I
up you
see.
here and say every avocado that has a sticker on it says ready to eat is absolutely past ready to eat. There's no way it is like mushy inside, because someone whose job it is to put these stickers on and be like, oh, this one's ready, and squeezed it
Yeah.
It's so
to
awkward.
Funktown.
Yeah, it's not
It's
good.
not good, love.
Yeah, it's kind of
Who's
weird.
squeezing these avocados, and why are we trusting them? Because by the way, those are not ready to eat. And doesn't it make you want to just, if you're me right now, society, like all the stress we're under, what's stopping us from like, we're holding this like kind of squishy avocado, like what's stopping us from just going, and just taking it out on that, just crushing that avocado, because we could.
You could, but there's way more satisfying fruit to do that to. Why an avocado? Like,
Well, I'm just saying,
think about
because-
doing that to like a peach.
Well,
We're
peach are not, there's
talking
not
about
ready
this
to eat stickers on
still.
peaches. Like
Well, I don't
there's
want to squeeze
avocados.
them with a sticker on
And
it.
when I hold an avocado in the grocery store, this is what I'm saying, this is where I'm at mentally, is that like, you're like, I need avocados, I need them ready to eat. And then I go there and I can judge them myself, but then I see the ones with stickers that say ready to eat. But I'm just saying that I'm so pressed mentally that I'm ready to just like, if it, like, I just want to cry, like, and I know I could.
Why don't you get
crush
one? Go
it.
get it. Go get an avocado out of the kitchen. Come in.
Eric, if you need to crush the avocados in the grocery store, I highly recommend therapy. There we go. That's all.
Here and just squish it. You're gonna do it? Oh my god, it is this.
I could.
I know you could. It's a squishy avocado. What do you mean? Anyone could. Flynn could. I guess Eric's going to get a squishy avocado. And here's my concern. He's going to come in here and prove a point and like be dramatic and squish an avocado. And that avocado is going to spill all over the rug.
Yep.
And avocado, I'm pretty sure, like can stain. And so like that's what I'm thinking about right now, is the fact that there's going to be avocado all over the ground. Oh my goodness, I am so tired. So that's what I'm worried about. I thought that this episode was going to be all about Valentine's Day and like love stuff, but it was basically just about Euphoria, and now we're talking about squishing avocados, and I don't even know how we got
Drugs and avocados. That's what we're talking about.
there, because I think Eric was supposed to be talking about He's alone time, and now we're just talking about squishing avocados.
I said my alone time was in the grocery store, and then I got on a tangent about these.
You know this is going to squish all over the ground, and you're going to have to pick it up.
Well, I'm just saying, this is what I want to do in the grocery store.
Okay. I mean, don't spill it on me. Okay, he's literally about to squish an avocado. Are you going to go for it? Yeah, there's a sticker on it.
watching
On
this.
it. Okay, go for it. It's cheaper than regular therapy. I hope it doesn't squish on me. What's with the anticipation?
Wait, did he just say
I'm
therapy?
just, like, never done. This is what I'm saying. Like, as society, like, we're holding back. We could just be doing this.
But like, who wants to squish an avocado? Like, of all
Well,
things,
then you'd have to pay for it. You can't just go into a grocery store, squish an avocado, and then be like, "Okay, thanks, bye." Like, that's
take out your aggression on.
you just move your seat
Yeah, because I
back?
don't want to like squirt on me, you know. Oh,
ew! I can't. Why is
gross.
this so
And
not?
the worst part about what just happened. Okay, first of all, you just got avocado all over this. The worst part about what just happened is that the way you held it was so that no one watching could see what happened.
What do you
Oh,
mean?
I
rolled it
saw
out
it,
this
and it was
way.
nauseating.
Like no one saw what I
Good.
saw.
I'm glad they don't. I don't want them to turn it into something.
I think that's gonna stain. Like you gotta get that out. Oh my gosh, love, don't step on any of it in the carpet. It's gonna rub in. You have to clean all that
So
up.
much on the floor.
Oh my gosh. Did you just vomit? Oh my god. Guys, this is just too much for me. Did you you said you
Too
had all
much
these
for all of
segments
us.
planned and now
Yeah,
you're
that
just
was one of them.
Oh my god. Do you want to clean up for a second before we continue?
No.
You don't want to clean up? Okay, let's continue. Avocado guts on you. Please don't step on it.
Talk with
What is happening?
avocado all over.
Okay, next.
This is
My
so
other
weird.
alone time, other than the grocery store, would be in the bathroom, which you were talking about.
Mm-hmm. That's it?
Yep.
Yeah, those are our alone
Do you
times.
sometimes pretend you're pooping and you're just looking at your phone, sitting down?
No, but I have sat on the toilet like longer after I finished, but I'm not like pretending to poop. I'm not like
maybe
grunting and pretending.
no, not pretending, but like you're in there for longer than you need to be, just because you need that break. You need
Maybe
that,
like
you need that moment because
I
that
see
is
a
your
lot of
only
parents
alone
doing
time.
that.
maybe like
young
30
parents.
seconds longer, but it's not like a long time. Like I don't
Like
spend
5 minutes.
No, I've never been in the bathroom for 5 minutes in my life, except for when I have like raging crazy badness.
Objection, Your Honor.
No, I'm usually not in the bathroom that long. Like usually it's like get in there, get out. Like I got stuff to do. I don't like being in the bathroom.
You don't hide in the bathroom?
No.
Okay.
Now I know you do. All these times you said,
I'm more like, how do I clean this? Well,
I
because
know. Look,
it
it's all
somehow
over
went,
the- it's all over the-
somehow went straight from my hand to guacamole on the rug.
Yeah, it's a super ripe avocado. That one was ready to eat.
Yep.
That's the sticker.
And
This
now
is
it's on the
right.
ground.
That one, they
Brilliant.
were right.
Did that one have the ready to eat sticker?
Yeah,
on
it did.
I don't think it did. Anyway, that avocado was ready to eat.
No, it's part of it.
He better not eat it off the
Yeah,
floor.
I knew this was going to happen. Love, don't use your fingers to pick up guacamole. Go get a paper towel.
It's not gonna do better.
Oh my god. All right, we're gonna go. I have to go be with my teething baby.
It looks like.
Love, you are literally just scraping it into the rug.
It looks like. It's
Oh
weird
my
how it looks
God.
like actual guacamole.
Love, oh my god, what have you done? Did it
He's
feel good at
wanting
least?
to make her recoil.
Love, please.
I dare you.
What do you mean you dare
I
me?
dare you.
Love,
Take
is
an
he
old
gonna eat
Euphoria
it?
dare. Like Euphoria, truth or dare.
No, love.
Euphoria style,
God.
truth or dare.
By the way, listeners, he
You
wants
have
me
to
to eat the
answer.
squished avocado that's in his hand. We're done with this episode.
Truth or dare. Euphoria style.
We are done. Thanks for listening, everybody. We have to clean up avocado out of the rug, and I've got to go be with my screaming baby upstairs, who's currently with my
Yeah.
poor mother.
I'm so glad she
We
did
love
eat
y'all.
that.
Thanks for listening. Happy Valentine's Day, I guess. Bye.
Oh my word, that was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. But okay, well I guess when you're sleep deprived, you do all kinds of crazy things. Okay, well, hopefully that commentary was somewhat interesting. Thanks for the suggestion. I'll see y'all later.